Hi, everybody. BJ Stevens here with Goosebump Moments. Today, I want to talk about the 10 big reasons why people fail in setting their goals. I've been teaching goal setting for close to 30, 35 years now. And believe it or not, in all that time, the same things keep popping up. The same reasons people failed 30 plus years ago are still the reasons they're failing today. Now, there's got to be a reason for that. And I'm going to give you 10 top reasons why that is. Now, there's got to be a takeaway from this because I don't want people to say, "Nah, that doesn't work. No, I'm not bothering. It just isn't for me. Nothing ever comes of setting goals. I'll just do it by the seat of my pants." I cannot tell you how many times I hear those excuses. So let me see if I can point out 10 of the reasons why you're coming up with those excuses. Now, a lot of what I'm sharing with you today comes from an article that I read a few years ago, and I've kind of kept it back in my file cabinet. And in going through some stuff, I just thought a lot of the points that they were making were valid, and I mixed it with a couple of my things. So here's my take. This is strictly my opinion, but someone who's got 35 years experience in doing this. So these are pretty valid reasons. We'll begin by the first one. A lot of people are afraid. They have a fear, not only of failure, but they have an internal fear of success. And we'll talk about that later down the road here in one of the top 10. But there comes a point when people just don't want to achieve. It's crazy how our brain talks us out of it. They're afraid that if they become successful, oh my God, what do I do next? We're going to address that down the road. But the fear is the number one reason why goals just don't get met. Number two is there is a huge lack of comprehension, a lack of understanding how the goal setting process works. Now, I want you to think about something. Goal setting is a series of events, a series of planning, a series of step-by-step actions, pardon me, that need to be put into place to force you to take action. Just by saying verbally, I want to clean out my refrigerator by Friday. Just by saying that doesn't make it a goal. You've got to actually think. There's a key word. Think through the processes. When you are buying a house, whether you're expanding or you're downgrading, it doesn't matter. There's a series of steps that goes into place in buying that house. You have to decide how much money you want to spend. You have to decide location. You have to decide what features you want. Do you want to go from a 4-bedroom to a 2-bedroom? Or do you want to go from a 2-bedroom to an 8-bedroom? Do you want 1 bathroom, 2 bathroom? Do you want that neighborhood, that neighborhood? Do you want a condo? Do you want an apartment? Do you want a smaller home? Do you want a 40-room home? What is it that you're looking for? You have to think about that. You have to think about everything. Do you want a big backyard? Do you want a 2-story? Do you want a ranch style? Do you want modern? Do you want mid-classic? Mid-century? Do you want Victorian? What is it that you are looking for? You know, there's an old saying in business: we spend more time planning our vacations than we do our life. And that is so true. When you plan a vacation, you decide where it is you want to go. Then you decide, do you want a spa, a resort, or do you want to take in all the sights in the South? Which means you've got to look into car rental. How much money are you planning to spend? How long are you going to be gone? What inclusive features does this resort or facility or hotel offer you? Are you going to eat there? Or are you going to eat snacks? Are you going to dine out once a day? Are you going to eat all 3 meals? Where are you going to do that? Do you need to purchase tickets in advance to some river park or some tourist place? Do you need to purchase tickets in advance for that? Is there a particular show in the evening you want to watch? You put in more time thinking, am I going to fly? Am I going to drive? Am I going to take a train? Is this going to be a 2-day trip? Is this going to be a one-night overnighter and a 24-hour trip? What is it? You spend more time planning that than you do your life, than you spend on working on your goals. Your goals takes just as much thought, takes just as much involvement from you as your vacation does. So let's turn that around. Let's get more involved in your life. Let's take that dream and make it happen. Okay? The third thing is there's a whole lot of lack of commitment to that goal. Just because you write it down on paper or you post it on a board somewhere, isn't going to make it happen. It takes thought, it takes action, and it takes a personal commitment to make it happen. Now, I tend to teach goal setting a little differently than most. What I do is make you think, and I work on a long-term goal, a medium-range goal, and a short-term goal. And the reason I do that is because that's how normal people think. Half the people think big dreams and they forget about going step by step, or a lot of people tend to overthink and fractionalize everything. There's a happy medium, and that's what I teach. And I've been very successful at that. So I know that people respond to what it is I'm teaching. So you've got to get committed to this goal. If you want it to happen, then you've got to take action. There is no ifs or buts. There is no middle ground. If you want to change, you've got to change. Okay? Now, along with that is the next tip, next big reason why people fail, and that's inactivity. You write it down and then you forget about it. You get sidetracked, which is what we call in my industry a ping pong. You get distracted and you forget to go back to it. You forget to apply yourself to that goal again. You know, life happens. There's external factors that pop in all the time that's going to make you divert your attention away for a little bit. And that's okay. I mean, that's normal. That's going to happen. But you then have to remember, I've got to get back on track. Because if you forget to get back, you're always going to have setbacks. So always, if you need to be distracted and you need to be diverted for a little while, that's fine. But get back on track. Get focused again. Start paying attention to what's really important to you. Now, there's another thing called analysis paralysis. You know, that's the fifth big reason why people fail in setting their goals. You overanalyze everything. We think too much. And then that paralyzes us. That takes us to that what if level. You know, what if I do all of this and nothing happens? Or what if I do all of this, put in all this time and this effort and nothing happens? Stop thinking in what ifs. Okay, maybe it's going to happen. Maybe. Who cares? Do it again. Start all over. Regroup. Go down a different path. It's like traveling from point A to point B. If you got any long distance and you've got some road constructions along the way, you're going to be asked to make a detour. Prepare your life for those detours because it's going to happen. So just because you can't go the way you wanted to go doesn't mean you can't end up where you want to be. You just have to work around it. Find a different path to go. Stop analyzing, overanalyzing, and stop paralyzing your thoughts. The sixth tip, the sixth big reason I can tell you why people fail is that they have no real destination in mind. Now, when I say that, people go, of course we do. That's why we have a goal. No, you're not defining and refining specifically. And that is probably one of the biggest mistakes people make. You have to have a specific goal. For instance, let's say your goal is to quit your job at the end of next year. Okay, that's what a lot of people want to do. That's not a big enough goal. I want to quit my job next year, by the end of next year, and have enough income with a second job that will replace my job that I'm quitting. Be specific. I'm not leaving that job until I make as much money now, as much money then, as I do now. Be specific. Don't generalize those goals. Define them to the finite degree. And when you refine that goal, that then helps you break down the steps that you're going to have to take and you have to be committed to make that happen. Now, here's the other thing in not having a real definition. A lot of people don't know why they want that definition, that destination. They have an idea, they have an image, but they don't know why they have an image. They like the image, but they cannot put into words why that goal is so important to them. You've got to know in your heart, you've got to know beyond the shadow of a doubt why that goal is so important to you. Now, wanting doesn't make it happen. Wanting does not make it happen. That's why this next reason people fail is one of the biggest crucial points that people fail. Is because you fail to plan. And I'm going back to that vacation example I gave earlier. You plan that to such an nth degree. You're planning when you need to get your tickets for your flight or whatever it is that, however you're traveling. Then you plan out what you're packing to the finite pair of shoes that you're taking. You plan on what your kids are taking. Are you swimming? How many swimsuits do I need to take? Do we need to take the toys along, the inflatable toys? Do we need to take the scuba gear? Are we going to rent scuba gear? How much extra am I going to have to pay for all the extra luggage on the plane if we pack all this stuff? Can we buy stuff when we get there? And how much is that going to cost? Where can I purchase that once we land? It's amazing. I can sit here and think of 1,000 things that you plan on a vacation. But can you give me one reason, definitive reason, why you want your goal? I have asked hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of students, and I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt that probably only 30 of them have been able to give me a real reason. Most everybody just has that image, that vision, but you don't define it. And if you want a goal to work, if you really want to succeed in making that goal fulfilled, you've got to be specific. Okay? One of the other things that I have noticed across the years, and this was something that I don't know where it comes from. I don't know if it's just an over exuberance or we just have too many dreams, but we have too many goals. Now, I'm not saying that having too many goals is a bad thing. In most cases, I don't think it is. There's a few cases that I do think having too many is a negative. But what you have to do if you realize you have too many goals is then how to prioritize those goals. Which of those goals are the most important for you to take care of in the next 30, 60, 90, 120 days? Is that possible to achieve that? If what individual steps you need to take, whether it's the short-term or the mid-term goal to get you there, let's see if we can make that happen. I'm here to tell you, if you think incrementally, if you have a big goal, but you break that big goal down into smaller steps, smaller goals, and then you incrementally work toward each plateau, you're going to get there. And believe it or not, in most cases, you can make that dream happen in 60, 90, 120 days. 180 days, guys, is 6 months. If you can't achieve some small step to a goal in 6 months, then you need to refine that goal even more finite, because now your goals are too big. You need to define and refine. And there's a way we can do that. Okay, now this is the 9th reason, and here is what I think a lot of us really fail at. A lot of you, even though you have these big dreams and you have these amazing lofty goals that you want to achieve, you don't because you feel unworthy. You have a self-image about yourself that says, I've tried so many times, I'm going to fail. It's just never going to work. I've never been able to achieve anything. Well, my guess is, through my experience, is that you didn't plan correctly. You didn't work on shorter term goals to reach your long-term goal, and you weren't committed enough. Goals take thought. Goals take planning. Goals require execution. And if you fail on any one of those levels, your dream isn't going to happen. But you can achieve them. I'm here to tell you, you can. You just have to learn how to plan wisely. Because you get that self-worth back. You'll get that confidence back once you achieve smaller goals to get to that next level. We plan too big, and we just need to get smaller goals accomplished, because that rewards you. That feeds your subconscious and says, yeah, we can do this. And that's what you need. So we need to work in your self-worth, your self-image, your confidence. because I promise you, you have so much potential. You have the ability to make anything come true. Now, the 10th and last reason why goals fail is what I kind of alluded to earlier. It's an old Jim Rohn saying that if you want to change, you've got to change. If you want better, you have to be better. If you want to do better, you have to work better. You have to be better. And the only way you can get better is to change. You've got to change. You got to change your attitude. You got to change that self-image. You got to change your mindset. You got to change that perception, that picture that you have. Everything about achieving that dream, arriving at that success point that you want, requires change. And that is something that a lot of people have problems with. You're too conformed in comfortability. You don't want to step outside of that comfort box. But you've got to get uncomfortable to have better. You've got to be uncomfortable to challenge yourself, to find out how good you are. Guys, I'm going to end with something that I always say. Les Brown says you have greatness, and indeed you do. I say you have magic. You have so much potential. You have so many secret skills and abilities. You don't even begin to understand a tenth of what it is that you have. You may think you're not good enough to do something, but how in the world do you know if you've never tried? And I don't mean just dip your toes. I mean truly, sincerely made a serious attempt at it. Discover your magic. Let's turn those goals into magic. Let's make you successful. Now, I teach a whole series of classes, and strategic goal setting is one of them. So if you would like more information on how to strategically set a goal, to learn how to make those dreams come true, reach out to me. Find me on Facebook at Goosebump Moments. You can email me at goosebumpmoments@gmail.com, or you can go to my website at findinggoosebumpmoments.com, and then go to the contact tab at the top of the page and just give me your email and a phone number and your name, and there's a little comment box. Now, all you have to say is, I want to learn, and I will get a hold of you. Me or one of my staff will get a hold of you, and we'll talk about what it is that you want to accomplish and how I can help you. I promise you, it will be well worth your time. So, that's it for today. I hope you got some value out of this. If you do, please hit the share button below. Share this with the world. Tell other people about myself and about this video. Goal setting is important, people. And I know you can do it. I know you have magic. Take care, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye.